Well, now it's time to meet with an non-stop day. It's safe to say we'll have some fun today on Geek World Radio.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Geek World Radio.
Today we're going to be playing some interviews with the cast of Adult Swim shows NTSF SDSUV and Children's Hospital.
So first off, we're going to play some interviews with the cast of NTSF SDSUV. We got to talk to Paul Scheer and Rebecca Romaine. So Paul Scheer, of course, is the creator and the star of the show. And one of the things that we had talked about with him was improv on the show.
One story they told us was about Kate Mulgrew. Most people might know Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway.
Oh yeah.
All you Star Trek fans out there.
So Paul told us a story about Kate Mulgrew doing a little bit of improv about the history of her character. And well, I'm just going to let the clip speak for itself.
The other day we couldn't find the end of the scene. I was like, I just want to watch some of the raw footage of this. And we watched, and Kate Mulgrew, who is Cove on the show, had this thing that she improvised that I'd never remembered or felt I saw. She was like, here's a secret about me. I was born in a shoebox. And had this crazy monologue about how she was born in this shoebox. I was like, that's genius. We got to use that. How did I not see that? And so we've now put this little weird monologue of Cove talking about being born in a shoebox, and it works and it doesn't feel too weird. So
wow,
yeah.
A shoebox. Where do you think she even came up with that from?
I have no idea, but she is kind of a genius, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is.
Maybe it's because, in that Captain's documentary, William Shatner met her while in a box.
Oh, that is a good thought. I think you might be right.
She had box on the mind, clearly.
That could be really dirty.
That could go the opposite way, couldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's up next, Anime?
So we also got to talk to actors Rob Riggle and Brandon Johnson and executive producer Curtis Gwynn.
And as the conversation went along, Brandon Johnson talked about a certain scene he had to do early on in the first season that he sort of felt uncomfortable doing. And here's the story.
Funny, in the first season, we had this scene where this little kid, this little chubby boy, Brandon has to come in and Brandon's trying to get this little stuffed animal for Trent's character, and it's the last one on the shelf, and this little chubby boy grabs it, and Brandon's like, oh, damn, and this kid says, here you go, mister, you can have it. And the lines, and Brandon, he goes, thank you, my fat little angel. He goes, if someday you should die from a fat-related disease like diabetes or whatever, it'll be a sad day. And the kid goes, but I already have diabetes. After the scene's over, Brandon was like, I can't believe you guys made me do this. Yeah. As the kids walk away, Brandon gave him $20. He's like, you gave him a bonus for having to do this scene.
I was raised in strip clubs. when you ask somebody to do something that's off the menu, you pay a little extra.
I mean, I thought it was so nice. I thought it was one of the nicest things I'd ever seen. But
it's literally our third day of shooting, I think. And I was like, I can't believe that you make me do this to this kid.
And the kid was the
my character's a nice
kid.
dude. I'm loyal. My character's sweet. He would never say that. They're like, you call that kid fat. Now you say it anyway.
You tell him he's going to die from diabetes. Right now, get back out there. You're an actor. You're a professional.
Get a hold of yourself. You're a professional.
That kid was great.
I said, I'm so sorry about having to call you a little fat angel. And he goes, don't worry about it, black guy.
Did you just call me black guy?
I was like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 34.
He was smoking a cool like Kaiser Soze, too.
He took your 20 and just tore it up. He's like, right, grow up.
I wouldn't do blow with this 20.
He's like, get over yourself, Brandon. Go back to sweet kid.
I know, first name?
Oh, man. That is amazing. We got to see that scene not too long ago.
Fat little angel. Yeah.
Okay, next up, we're moving to Children's Hospital. Hopefully not having to go to Children's Hospital if we were sick, because if we were, I think we'd be in a whole lot of trouble.
Yes.
So this is another great show from Adult Swim. It, of course, started off as a web show, Rob Corddry's show.
We got to talk to Ken Marino and Aaron Hayes.
Now, Ken Marino, some of you guys might know from all the way back in the state, because he wanted to dip his balls in it.
Or you might know him more recently from Burning Love, his web series.
Exactly.
Well, we know that the show is so funny, but we wanted to know a little bit about the antics that go on behind the scenes.
Ken and Aaron told us a little story that is both hilarious and a little frightening.
We we accidentally killed like an extra
That
one
was
time.
so funny.
That was pretty
That
funny.
was really
Like
funny.
it wasn't like
Because it was like, she was so old, first of all. Those
So
people
like,
are
she's
so
gonna
funny.
go. What are we gonna do? Should we leave her here? Do we touch her?
You know.
How do we get our fingerprints off her? And then I think what we wound up doing is just leaving her at the
just
hospital,
leaving
and
her
then that
there.
hospital was destroyed.
Demolished, so that's fine. That got taken care of.
Other than
was
that, it's pretty serious.
Yeah.
That poor old lady, but she was so old, so it just made it funny.
I think it would have been worth it, though. That show's so awesome. It's like, if you have to die on a set, you might as well die on a set of an awesome one, right?
Yeah, and like, it was almost like she died in the hospital.
Exactly. Good point. That's what happens to old people anyway. They gotta, exactly.
Yeah,
so there you go, anime. Good
yeah.
point.
Power of laughter just couldn't save her.
Exactly. I love that show.
One of the other people that we got to talk to was Henry Winkler, the Fonz himself.
Can you believe it? I mean, this guy is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a question. A long time ago, I had seen a episode of Happy Days in which Mork, Robin Williams, Mork from Mork and Mindy, was first introduced. And basically, he had his cool, like, telepathic mental powers. But the Fonz was the only one who could stop him with his A power. And ever since then, I've wondered, is the Fonz a superhero? And so I asked Henry Winkler, do you consider the Fonz to be a superhero?
I would think that's true. Listen, remember, I also, in another episode, I hit the side of an apartment building and all the lights went on. That's pretty extraordinary. I was lying in the forest and I was really pissed off. I couldn't fall asleep because of the noise. I sat up, I said, cool it, and every animal just calmed down and went to sleep. I would have to say I was a superhero. Yes. Without a cape, without a mask.
I knew he was a superhero the whole time. I didn't even know about that other stuff. That was awesome.
know. We have to find those episodes.
Exactly. Hey, and all the animals shut up. That is awesome. And I love that you actually mentioned this when we first watched it back, that like for that 1 second he was the Fonz again.
Yeah.
And that was totally awesome. Too bad he didn't break out a leather jacket, huh?
Oh man, like he should just have that like under his actual jacket at all times.
Exactly. It's like Spider-Man or Superman always has their costume on under. I totally agree with you.
I feel like there's going to at some point be a scene in Children's Hospital that like something happens and he like gets to be the Fonz again.
But it's funny because Saul is like the most uncool character on the show.
Well,
really,
that's why
other
something
than the
has to
delivery
happen,
guy.
Yeah. Like I don't know, maybe he'll get hit on the head or something. And,
and then it'll be cool for once.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. All right. So up next, we are talking to the executive producers, Rob Corddry and Jonathan Stern. Mm-hmm. And what do they talk about, anime?
Well, they talked about a little bit about some of the episodes that are coming up in this new season, which actually just premiered. But one of the very special episodes that they told us about was the British episode.
Oh, yeah. So basically the episode is a British version of Children's Hospital because the show got so big, there's a British version. And so here you go.
It's the British version of Children's Hospital, and it's all done very much not like, bad teeth and tea jokes. It's really done like there was a British writer, a British director, an all-British cast, and it's on BBC 10, we're saying. And that was really cool because it was really like starting a new thing all of a sudden. And the cast bonded like within the first 10. They were like best friends.
I think they were all single. That probably helped.
Oh, that's true. They did all kind of bang each other for a while after that. I'm not kidding.
We built a British pub set in the hospital and left it up, and we used it as an actual rap party pub.
Pub set. We built a pub set on Children's.
But it was useful for us to do the British episode to see just how easy it could be to replace our cast if we needed to.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd ever recast these guys, though. They are
awesome. They're too good.
So we also got to talk to Rob Hubel and Lake Bell.
And these two together were so hilarious. I think
they have such great rapport.
Yeah, they're amazing. And so the first question that was asked, do you remember what it was, Anime?
Well, I have no idea what the actual question was, but somehow they managed to start talking about making out with old people. So, I don't really need to say any more. You should just hear it from them.
Here you go.
Lake has a kissing scene with an older actor, a very famous gentleman named Philip Baker Hall. As soon as you see him, you'll know who he is. And Lake kissed him.
Spoiler alert.
And a couple seasons ago, I got to make out with an older lady named Marion Ross. You may know her as Mrs. C from the television show Happy Days with Henry Winkler. So I got to make out a hardcore, that was a couple seasons ago, make out with her.
You're still
And now
talking
that
about it.
you have made out with an older gentleman, let's compare notes.
Yeah,
When
okay.
you go to kiss an old person, what are you worried about going into it?
Offending them.
That they would be offended by...
Me not putting more tongue into it.
Do you really think, in your heart of hearts, that
'Cause I
old
didn't-
people, actors on the show, professional, famous actors, are hoping that you use your tongue in your
No.
love scenes?
I just don't want them to think that I don't use tongue when I do stage kissing, but I don't want them to think that I'm not using stage kissing because they're old, like I'm
okay.
discriminating.
Let me tell you from my experience
Okay.
how you avoid that problem. You use your tongue.
Which I saw.
When
that you
I
used.
kissed Marion Ross, very lovely lady, Mrs. C, I full on used my tongue.
Not appropriate.
In
but
fact, you can
hilarious.
even see it on her mouth area. And I found that to be a memorable experience for her. I wanted to give her that gift.
And you think that that was a
from
gift
me.
for her?
You are welcome, Mrs. C.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Her name is not Mrs. C.
Marion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she wasn't using enough tongue.
You know, it's true. You never really know. You have to get that perfect amount of tongue.
So that's it for this second episode of Geek World Radio on YouTube. Thanks to all the cast of NTSF, SDSUV, and Children's Hospital, and Adult Swim in general, because they're awesome.
Yeah, they are. Don't forget to check out all of the other awesome videos we have up on youtube.com/GeekWorldRadio.
And also listen to us every week on Indie 100 and The Point, where we do our radio show. And other than that, one more episode down. See you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Well, now it's time to meet with an non-stop day. It's safe to say we'll have some fun today on Geek World Radio.